Hello, welcome back to my video. And if you are watching this video for the very first time, you're most welcome. It is my sincere hope and wish that you find what you're looking for in this reality of partial truths. And today, I want to share with you my perspective on a hugely discussed topic, which is that of manifestation. The main reason why this subject has taken the world, or seemed to take the world by storm, and with so much momentum, is how people are now slowly realizing that we do create our own reality with our thoughts or our minds, or at least we influence it very, very, very much. And there's a lot of scientific evidence out there confirming this, that you don't even have to look too far at all. A quick Google search will get you what you need to know instantly about this topic. So what is manifestation, and why is everyone so pumped about the subject? So the planet is now evolving, that is for sure, and it does that always, and it always will. It devolves and it evolves, and by default every life on it also is thrown into the same pattern of devolving and evolving. The topic of manifestation has always existed, and it is not new, that is far from it. This is the occult knowledge the Hermetic teaching have always taught, and these teachings are so well hidden that they are right in front of you. They stare you right in the face. But the only way to find out is if you are actually looking for it. The information is there for you to find. Remember, the eyes will only see what the mind is ready to accept. The planet is now evolving, and when you factor in the cosmic law of rhythm, which can be simplified to mean that every event has a season, and there's always a rhythm or a pattern for every occurrence that you see in the world. You will need to open your eyes to understand that things just don't happen in this reality. Nothing happens by chance. And when you integrate this belief, it will open your mind to notice things like synchronicities that your mind didn't even notice before. But these have always been there. And now that you're open to the idea of a pattern actually existing, this is like you've now unlocked a power up, and you begin to see synchronicities all around you. One thing about the mind is it will only see what it already believes is true. And in terms of synchronicities, repeating numbers is the common one, and that is normally the first thing that you will notice when you start your spiritual evolution or your spiritual journey. Manifestation is a term that is now being loosely used by many to mean bringing forth an idea that only exists in your mind into matter that has mass and occupies space where everyone can see and touch, because an idea first starts from your mind, from your head. It is you are the artist that have to play it out, that have to bring it forth. So that is what manifestation is. And I say it is being used loosely because the way people talk about it is almost as if it's a skill that has to be taught or has to be discovered, or that has just been recently discovered, that you have to learn to manifest. It is almost being discussed as if a baby has to learn, you know how a baby has to learn to walk or has to learn to use its legs. That is not the case with manifestation. You do not have to learn to manifest, because you already are manifesting. You would not be here if you didn't know how to manifest. The very fact of you existing here already proves that you can manifest. And it is an inbuilt thing. It is an inbuilt ability, just like same as breathing. No one has to teach you how to breathe. From the first time you were born, you just started breathing to stay alive. So when I see all these courses that teach manifestation, it's kind of very insane, to say the least. And save your money and don't buy into that BS, really. However, there are fundamentals that you will do well to know if you were to choose to make your life a little bit easier, or your manifestation life a little bit easier. The analogy that I normally use is, if you're planning a trip, the first step that you take is, or the first step that there is for any plan, is the intention. The intention to get to a certain destination. So once this is set and you know exactly where it is that you're going, you start planning your trip. You set the directions, say on your Google Maps, and then you go. Depending on the information you have or how familiar you are with where you're going or your destination, will determine if you use the short or the longer way there to arrive at your destination. So using the longer way will mean it's obvious that you will use a lot of fuel, and using the shorter way, it is obvious that you will save both fuel and time. So knowing the fundamentals that govern the laws of manifestation on this planet or in this time-space reality is the same as knowing the back routes or the shortcuts to your destination, where you're going. It will save you a lot of mental energy, which is fuel, and time. I will share with you what I know, and feel free to try this, and if it works for you, well, then let me know. And if it doesn't work for you, then, well, that's too bad, because it works for me. But still, let me know still if it doesn't work. And always remember to start small. When you are sort of like consciously manifesting, you need to start small, and then you have to grow your manifestations, because first of all, what you're trying to do is you're trying to taste your faith, because all this time you've been manifesting unconsciously. So now that you're familiar, you're doing it consciously. There's a lot of technicalities that go around with intention and manifestation, which I will explain in my next videos, because there's just so much stuff that you have to know, and it really does help when you know what you're doing and where you're going, and it just gives you that sense of direction and confidence, because knowing gives you confidence. When you know something, you don't have to believe, you know. Just the same thing as when you're turning on the light, you know that the light is going to turn on. You don't believe. So knowing and believing are two different things, because when you know, you know. It's different from believing, because when you believe, there's a shadow of doubt, and that's always something that it's not really ideal. But if you know that when you turn on the light, it's going to turn on, you don't need to believe. You just know. There's a big difference. So first of all, as I said, you need to start small to taste your faith. However, as I said, that you are always manifesting. Even before you were born on this planet, you were manifesting. You manifested yourself on this planet in that body. But we'll not go there or into detail, because that's irrelevant of what happens before you come to this planet. But let's say before you can even remember, you have been manifesting all your life. And the biggest problem is you are not aware you're doing it. And to keep things simple, I will sort of like give you the background of all of this. Yeah. So you have a mind, and this mind consists of your conscious mind, which is the knowing mind, which we also know manifests as the masculine energy. Okay? And the other mind is the unconscious mind, or the subconscious, or the unknowing mind, which manifests as feminine energy. So I want you to think of this mechanism or this system where all the things that you experience, that you accept and are happy with and have been resolved, go in the knowing mind, which we also call the short-term memory. So this is where it gets interesting. The experiences that you fail to resolve, for instance, you are abandoned as a child and you grew up with, say, an abusive carer or relatives. What happens is your mind, you will have a split within your mind. One side will have to accept and adapt to a truth that labels people as independent or cruel, and you have to be cruel back to be able to survive and adapt. So that is how you will grow up, as being your truth. You will adopt that as your personality or your outer shell. So that will be your personality. You will probably be a person that is very skeptical, very untrusting of anyone, because that is what you had to adapt to survive. Have the second split or the other split. That will be the part that is unresolved, vulnerable, and does not understand why it was abandoned and raised by abusive carers or relatives. And this will be tucked away into the unconscious or subconscious unknowing feminine mind. So the feminine energy is the one that brings forth manifestations into the physical world. That is why babies come from women, because they are the physical manifestation of the feminine energy. The masculine energy only imposes its will, and it is the feminine energy that brings this will into the physical plane. A favorite quote of mine is by Carl Jung, and it says that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life, and we will call it fate. What this simply put, is the only shortcut to bringing forth your manifestation into the physical plane is to reprogram your unconscious or your subconscious mind with what it is that you personally prefer. What you experience is only the effects of what the subconscious mind has created. The subconscious mind is the cause. So if there is garbage in your subconscious, remember the saying, garbage in and garbage out. Yeah, that's literally it. And if you want to hear this from the good book, well, Philippians 4 verse 8 reads, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true and whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, and whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." So, I'll break this down for you. This means exactly what it means. Meditation, or if you're religious, prayer is the same thing. Meditation and prayer is literally the same thing, or the same concept. What it does is it brings your mind in unison, and depending on your intention, you can have a window where you can reach out to your subconscious and impose your will upon it, and it will happen. it all comes down to your intention of seeing it through. The reason why spiritual or religious people put their hands together on praying, like so, even when you're meditating, most people put their hands like this, is simply because your left brain correlates to your right hands, and your right brain correlates to your left hand. So if you put your hands together in prayer or meditation, what you're actually doing is you're literally and symbolically linking your mind, left and right brain, together. That way they're in unison, they're one. So yeah, you're not going to hear this from your church or your church leaders, because they don't really tell you that stuff. So you will notice that almost all the time, even the first part of that verse, or the verse that I just spoke about, the Philippians 4, it's always talking about rejoicing and being glad and being not being anxious, or just basically it's telling you to be happy and grateful all the time. The reason behind that is it is literally how you raise your vibration and your frequency. You're raising your vibration at higher frequency, because all these emotions are high vibrating, they have a higher frequency. So when you're happy, when you're grateful, when you're not anxious, you are vibrating at a really, really high frequency. So emotions like gratitude, love, happiness, joy, fulfillment, on the vibrational chart, that those are high vibration emotions. Emotions like gratitude, love, happiness, fulfillment, joy. These are really high vibrational frequencies. And when praying or meditating, it is best to always raise your vibration. And this will help you tune into the high frequencies, which I'm assuming is a reality you want to bring forth. So, what do you think, if you just think about it, what do you think will happen if you are praying and you're in a low vibration? If you're like really, really depressed or grieving, what do you think you will do? You will manifest the same thing that you're trying to get rid of. That is the same exact reality that you will bring forth, and it will be like taking the longer way or the longer route around to your destination. However, ignoring or not acknowledging your emotions is also a no-no. Like, try to avoid that. Try to ignore your emotions. If you're angry, you are angry. If you're sad, you're sad. There's no going around that. So you must feel the emotion, and after you must feel the emotion, like it's like riding a wave. Okay, just ride the wave, feel it. Okay, and after the storm or after the wave has passed and you're now calm and at peace, then you can pray, then you can meditate and impose your will on the subconscious. And by believing that you already have received what it is that you prayed for, you're imposing on your subconscious. God in heaven will answer your prayer. Doesn't it strike you as odd that non-believers or people that believe in different deities or still get their prayers answered one way or the other? Even a thief or the worst person that you know exists, when they pray, they can get their prayers answered. How is that possible? How is that possible in a world that insists on a universal God? The only way it makes sense on this plane of existence is God is relative. God is personal. And what I mean is my version of God is not the same and cannot be the same version as yours or the next person. This idea is very limiting, and to later on declare that God will punish you based on the virtues of, say, a Christianity or Islam or Buddhism or all the religions out there is kind of confusing and very besides the point. All the religions out there believe they are right, they are the right religion, and theirs is the truth, and that the rest are wrong. So what it means is they all have an equal chance at being right. They all have an equal chance at being right because they all have a dog in the fight, so to speak. So if you happen to be wrong, then you will be judged based on the virtues of the one who was right. So basically, it's a gamble. Friends, heaven and hell are states of mind. You either create your hell or your heaven based on what your beliefs, based on the beliefs that you choose and you hold on to. Remember, everything is choice. Everything is choice. Always remember that. Anyway, so I think I have talked enough for today, and I'll stop right here for today in this video. So this is just part one, or the introduction of this topic of manifestation, because I will explain everything in detail, because I really want to share everything I know, and there's so much to unpack here, and I just want to explain the little that I know. And if it resonates and helps someone out there, then truly my task here will be fulfilled. So all I can say is, if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you for watching and thank you for staying. And if you have any comments or questions, please leave a comment in the comment section, and I promise I will get to you. Thank you. Shalom.